Welcome back, space friends. This is CSP Fozzie again, joined by Bacchanalian, and we are bringing you Ushra versus Test Alliance. Please ignore the next match of the first day of the 12th Alliance tournament. Why don't you tell us a little bit about these setups we've got coming up for us, Bacchanalian?
Oh, we got Ushra here in a double Rattlesnake, Nighthawk, Scimitar setup with 2 Malediction, 3 Hawks, and 3 Worms as support. And, interestingly, Ushra did not declare a flagship. I think this would be a setup where a flagship Rattlesnake might benefit them. And we do have Test Alliance in a double Sleipnir Scimitar triple Gila combo, again with Worms, Raptor, and some Merlins as support.
Yeah, I love the use of the Sleipnirs in the tournament. I actually think this Sleipnir Gila combo is a pretty strong one. It's one of those, and it can be used with a Claymore as well, or with another set of ships in that command ship slot. Gives you a lot of mobility combined with the huge DPS that the Gilas and the Sleipnirs have.
It looks like Ushra came in 1 point short. Test starts the match with 1 point. We have a case here again of a team putting all their eggs in a few baskets. You've got 2 Rattlesnakes and a Nighthawk as most of the DPS. I guess those Worms can crack out 300, 350 DPS, but really compared to 2 Sleipnirs and 3 Gilas, you've got much more spread on your damage on the Test team.
Yep, a target painter and damp's already been applied to Dante's Scimitar of Test Alliance. It's likely he's going to be the first target that they're going to try to shoot at. We'll see how effective they are in it, although we're already seeing, we're seeing quite a bit of damage coming in him, and also a bunch of damage going to Ugleb's Scimitar for Ushra as well.
Well, it looks like the Scimitar actually on the other side, on the Test side, has been scrammed. All 3 Hawks were scrammed for Ushra. Those aren't showing up on the UI, it looks like, but we do have frigates getting scrammed all over the place, so definitely this is everyone going in deep with the support. Scimitar for Ugleb already into armor. Meanwhile, Dante Saronis just lost his shields and his Scimitar as well, so they might trade here, although it looks like Ushra will be a little bit behind on that, and that Scimitar first one does drop for Ushra.
Yeah, Dante's tank is holding up a lot better. It looks like he had a more effective shield booster going. I did see a shield boost right at the end for Ugleb, but it was too little too late. It was right when he was in structure. I didn't see anything before that. And Dante's going to have to try to get some more range if he wants to pull away from the damage being dealt by these Rattlesnakes.
Yeah, he's definitely in a precarious position right now. He's obviously, it looks like ASB tanked. He's at half armor. Eventually, that's going to have to reload. And meanwhile, it looks like the Nighthawk is the next target for Test to fire on. And really, I think that Scimitar will probably run out of charges before that Nighthawk goes down. Meanwhile, we have a Hawk on the Ushra side going, and there goes the Scimitar. So both sides loduless now.
So the choice of the Nighthawk next, that will knock down the Lynx, but if they had picked off some of these frigates that were tackling their Scimitar, they might have been able to keep him alive. That being said, though, the Nighthawk is dropping into armor now. We're seeing him, there he goes, and he's going to be dropping pretty quickly. So that'll be the shield Lynx off the field for Ushra, which should make the rest of their team a lot easier to kill.
And a Worm joins him in explosion there. Leslie Moffat, Raptor, is taking a bit of damage, and then we have Faith Sleipnir on the Test Alliance side. Looks like he's about to enter armor as well, but Ushra 1 step behind here all the way.
Yeah, the Raptor did go down, but he's still around actually. Yep,
another Worm. We've got a Hawk that just went down there.
Seems like an odd choice as a primary, a Raptor that's not scrambling any of your, that's not anywhere near the rest of your team to be causing any problems. But now they've actually gone after the Sleipnir, which is a much more viable target.
And Faith Sleipnir is struggling, even with his ASB pumping. He's into structure. We have another Hawk down for Ushra. Worm now taking damage, Hawk into armor. Both of those frigates look like they're not long for this world. And Faith Sleipnir still hanging
holding on. He's no longer webbed, so he is pulling speed, and he is just barely holding on. It looks like he's gone into reload on his ASB, though, because I'm no longer seeing boosts. He's just losing bits of structure. Yeah, I have a feeling he's about to. There he goes, off the field, and that's a big chunk of DPS gone for Test, but they still have another Sleipnir and 3 Gilas, which is a lot of hitting power.
Well, and again, not to underestimate those Worms, the 3 of them together put out quite a bit of damage, probably on border with the Sleipnir. So you're really looking at just a ton of damage still, and they should be able to chew through these Rattlesnakes. The question is, can these Rattlesnakes break down anything before they go down? We see that Malediction now stripped of shields. Another frigate is down for a Worm down on the Test side. But Ushra first Rattlesnake is into about 2/3 shields and not really repping as effectively as you might expect.
That Worm actually was killed for a boundary violation. That was a piloting mistake on the Test Worm. That's a good amount of DPS that he's no longer bringing to the fight because of that. That being said, though, it's a DPS race at the moment. Philip is the Rattlesnake for Ushra is going through shields quickly, and so is Major Templar, the Test Alliance Gila.
Really not a good trade for Ushra Khan here. If they lose a Rattlesnake just to kill a Gila, really, I mean, maybe if you take out the Sleipnir, that's an okay trade, but one Rattlesnake against the rest of the other team, the test team, is just not going to be effective. And that Gila does die, but the Rattlesnake now deep into armor, about to go into structure and explode himself.
Yeah,
And that'll leave one Rattlesnake against most of a test team here.
these rattlesnakes also aren't locally boosting. So that fact actually gives me the feeling that the Sleipnir could probably solo this last rattlesnake, because the ability of an active tank to pull back the damage against a single battleship hitting you is pretty effective. While that rattlesnake, even if you're just picking away at him, he will eventually die.
You know, we did see that again early on. I think it might have been a Rattlesnake that was up against just a couple frigates and cruiser, and he was passive. As a result, he died. I don't remember exactly who that was, but this is kind of the downfall of a passive tank. Once you're losing HP, you've lost HP. And okay, I have a Merlin on the test side taking significant damage in the structure, probably going to die. Gila now into about 1/3 shields, but the Rattlesnake is joining him in the 1/3 shields. Merlin's off the field. Looks like the Gila and Rattlesnake may go down at the same time.
Yeah, and that'll be pretty much the end of it. These maledictions are the ones running around killing the Merlins and the Worms, and well, actually the Worm of the Boundary Violation, but killing the Merlins. But they're not going to be able to take down the Gilas or the Sleipnirs. So once this Rattlesnake drops down, as he goes into armor, and of course, as a Garista ship, he's not going to survive too long in armor. It's going to be all she wrote for Ushra Khan in the winners bracket.
You know, I was saying that earlier that this is an interesting match because both of these teams are teams that have done well before in the past, and they're also both teams who have done poorly in the past. So it was interesting to see who's going to come out swinging harder, and it looks like Test brought the superior setup and executed better than Ushra Khan here. So Ushra Khan looked to be dropping into the losers bracket.
Mm-hmm. That being said, I think it's a fairly respectable showing for Ushra Khan. They're not a lot of the people that have dropped in the losers bracket today have done so due to some pretty subpar setups, some bad piloting choices. Ushra Khan looking like a team that could go decently far in the losers bracket. They're not going to be one that I would consider an easy stepping stone if I was facing them down there. I was a little bit worried that they might not perform very well after they didn't bother to submit a flagship this year, but obviously they did decide to bring out some nice ships and bring together a setup that actually works coherently.
Well, perhaps that was just next level meta from them. It's something beyond our understanding. But that last Malediction is at about half armor, and this match will be over before too long. It's like he's got a raptor right on his tail. So,
so that's going to bring us to the end of this match. Our next match is going to be Tactical Narcotics Team versus Nest of Vipers. And then after that will be what is definitely one of the most anticipated matches of this day, Low Section Shalupin versus the Camel Empire, who everyone is expecting to do very well since they performed so excellently as Thingy in the New Eden Open too.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how they come out. Again, I think I put them up there along with the kind of second tier of elites like Exodus, guys who have legitimate shot to go all the way but haven't quite made it in the past.
Yeah, so it'll be great to see how they do here. I mean, they've had an amazing showing in that tournament, but that was their first tournament showing at all. So seeing whether they can actually follow that up with a second good showing will be very interesting for sure.
Let's see what that Malediction's still kiting around. Looks like he does have an active armor tank because he is back to full armor despite having structure damage. And the Raptor's still, doggedly following him around. But it looks like the Malediction has finally slowed down 560 to the almost 4,000 that the Raptor was doing. He's now overtaken him. Perhaps he's finally decided that surrender is the honorable choice here.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of good fights and salutes in local, wishing each other luck in the rest of the tournament. These guys definitely have no hard feelings here.
And it looks like the proper pronunciation is Losek Naya Sholupin. That's according to Stream Chat. We'll see.
There we go.
That's quite a mouthful.
It does make sense. Yeah. I'm not sure how they're going to perform, but they definitely have rolled a pretty unlucky first opponent.
Yeah, and sometimes that can make or break your tournament. You start out against a really tough team, and even if you you go farther into the losers bracket, that morale blow of losing the very first match, it's really important. You come out not just to stay in the winners bracket to win that first match, but to really get confidence. If you have new pilots, if you have people who've worked really, really hard for weeks and weeks, maybe months, and to come out and just kind of lose that first match is really a blow to morale. So it's important to come out and strong.
We've been seeing a lot of teams that look like they're putting potentially more effort into these early matches than they have in the past. A lot of flagships being brought out in the beginning, a lot of pretty strong setups, and teams kind of going all in. And it'll be interesting to see how much that might be motivated partially by the new prize structure. But we'll talk a little bit more about that later, because for now, that is the end of the match as the malediction explodes. So we will send you to some more of these wonderful player created ads, and then we'll be right back for Tactical Narcotics Team versus a Nest of Vipers.